Dear students, warm greetings to all. Myself, Professor O.K.HARIHARAN from Saurashtra College, Department of Computer Applications. Today we are going to discuss about the course of Programming in C in brief. So this is the screen, what we are going to see in the next screen onwards. So this is the abstract view of this course of C. First of all, we want to know what is C, then why use C, what is the history of C, why C is still useful, that development with C, and the main concept of history of C. Then C standard libraries and the basics of C environment. And we go to see a simple programming C. Okay, now we are going to see why use C. Mainly because it produces codes that runs nearly as fast as code written in assembly language. Some examples of the use of C might be, it may be operating systems, it may be language compilers, assemblers, text editors, print spoolers, network drivers, modern programmings, databases, language interpreters, and utilities. Mainly we are using this C because of the portability that writing standard C programming can offer. It is called a portability. So what is the operating system? We know every system must have at least a basic of one operating system or multiple operating system. And we know something about compilers and the oldest language, which is an assemblers. And today we are using a normal text editors, and we are using in a hardware, we call it as a print spoolers. And these network drivers, modern programs, databases, language interpreters, and utilities. Because these programs are written in C, so we know that it has a multiple combination of like operating system, compilers, assemblers, text editors, print spoolers, and so many on. Now let us see a history of the C. So whatever we have to learn, we know the basics and forefathers of the languages. Right. Let me discuss about the C has been developed by Dennis Ritchie in 1972 at Bell Labs. Write C, and in 1978, the publication of the C programming language by Kernighan and Ritchie caused a revolution in the computing world. Then in 1983, the American National Standard Institute ANSI established a committee to provide a modern, comprehensive definition of C. The resulting definition, the ANSI standard or ANSI C, was completed late 1988. Okay, students, let me know the history of the C. Now we are going to see why C is still useful, even though we have a modern programming language, the word like a Python, and we have a C++ and Javas, and we have a many numbers of modern languages. But still we are using C in various platforms and to develop various applications. Okay, let us see a brief. C provides efficiency, high performance, and high quality softwares. This is the main reason we are using the C is still. Then flexibility and power, and many high level and low level operations, that is called a middle level. Stability and small size code provide functionality through rich set of function libraries. Gateway for other programming languages like C, C++, and Java. So I already told that even though we are having a number of modern languages, we are preferring a C because of these criteria falls upon these C languages. Okay, what is C is used? C is used for a system software compilers, editors, embedded systems, data compression, graphics and computational geometry, utility programs, and developing a databases, operating system, device drivers, system level routines. And there are zillions of lines of C legacy code also used in application programs. Okay, we have now some ideas about the history of things and why C we are using and what is its provides. Right. Let us discuss about the development with C. How to develop a C application by using a C programming. Okay. Let us see. It is having a 4 stages like editing, pre-processing libraries, compiling, and linking. What is meant by editing? Writing the source code by using some IDEs or editors. You can easily write this by using the sum of integrated development environment or editor. So this is called as editing stage. The next one is called pre-processing or libraries, already available routines. Because most of the program we written is already we are using some common libraries like finding of the square root of a number, finding of the sine of 30, and we have a lot of libraries. Instead of writing a program for these processing, we can easily avail and import these libraries in our programming. So we need to import these libraries. This stage is called a pre-processing stage. The next third stage is we need to compile it because the machine is called, it is only working in a low level language, but the C is written in a high level language. So we need to translate or convert source to object code for a specific platform. It is simply we call it as a source code and object code. So that's only it provides the portability of a C program. So we don't need to deeply going for this. So the third stage is compiling. Later we discuss about what is the meaning of portability. The next one is linking. The linking is nothing but it is resolves external references and produces the executable model. So after giving editing and pre-processing and compiling, the last stage of C program, developing a C program is a linking. So it has to get resolved some external references of the data and memories and produces the executable model. Because we know already I told that it is a portable. So it is a machine dependent, independent. So that's why we need to link these resources. The next one is portable programs will run on any machine, but program correctness and robustness are most important than program efficiency. The program may be more efficient, but we are also expecting the correctness and robustness of the program. Right. It is a further some information about the history of C. It is basically evolved from two previous languages. You call it as a BCPL and B. So BCPL is normally we call it as a basic combined programming language and used for writing operating system and compilers. B used for creating early versions of Unix operating system. Both were typeless languages. I think you don't know what is the meaning of typeless languages. We simply told that a typeless is nothing but a no data types. Every data item occupied one word in memory. But in some other languages, it will be a typed language. Okay, the next one is C language evolved from Pre. Simply we told that it has been developed by Dennis Ritchie in Bell Lab. Right. These are the further details of history of the C. It is an hardware intermittent program portable to most computers. Dialects of C, we call it as a common C, ANSI C. You can call in any form. It may be ISO 9899 or 1990, called American National Standards Institute, ANSI C. It is a case sensitive. We already discussed about the libraries. There are two parts to learning the C word. Learn C itself. Take advantage of a rich collection of existing functions called C standard libraries. Whatever we need, we have a number of libraries available in here. C program. Avoid reinventing the wheel. You no need to go for a from the scratch. You can go from the current position. We can move forward to develop a program. It is a software reusability. Right. So what is the environment of C? Let us discuss about this. C system consists of three parts. First one is environment, then understood language, the C standard library. Development environment has 6 phases. So what is meant by development environment? Let me discuss about It is an editing, it is a preprocessor, then we need to compile, then it has to be linked, then it has to be loaded, and finally the environment is executable environment. Let us see in a simple diagram. So this is the diagram for C environment, the phase 1, the editor, which has been connected to the disk, the program edited in the editor and is stored on a disk. Whatever the program you have to be written, it should be stored in a secondary storage devices. That will be a permanent storage device, so we can recall at any time for our use. The phase 2, it is a preprocessor. It also been to and fro preprocessor to disk. The preprocessor program processes the code. Whatever the written in a high-level language, it can be converted into preprocessor programming processing the code. The third phase is we call it as a compiler to disk. It creates object code and it stores on disk. The next phase 4 is it has to be linked or linker. Link object stores with the libraries and it stores on disk. Now we are combined this linker with the libraries. In the phase 5, we call it as a loader. And we have know very well, we have a primary memory and secondary memory. And this stage puts program in memory. We need to catch up from the hard disk or in the secondary storage devices. We have to put this program into code in a primary memory to execute the program. In phase 6, it has to be bring it to the CPU. And this phase has to be done, takes each instruction, it executes storing new data values. Okay, let us see a simple program of C program. You can see it's only having a 6 lines. So first we have a first C program, then and we have a hash symbols and include, and I have some tags stdio.h, and I have written as void main. Then I am opening the brace at the starting point of the program. I just use a printf command, and within a bracket I mentioned as a hello world, and I'm closing the programs. So it is nothing but a small program which is going to be displayed in a screen hello world sentence. Let us see what has been done in this program. So in line 1, the line mentioned as include stdio.h. As a part of compilation, the C compiler runs a program called the C preprocessor. Okay, the preprocessor is able to add and remove code from your source file. So this is called a preprocessor, which means the code has been already processed. In this case, the directive tells the preprocessor to include code from the file stdio.h, which has been stored our needed code. Right. This file contains a declaration for functions that a program needs to use. Okay. What is meant by declaration? A declaration for the printf function is in this file. So the computer didn't understand what is the meaning of printf. So it has been stored in some preprocessor. So we need to include and we need to mention these files has been stored in stdio.h. Line 2. So we mentioned as a void main. Okay, what is the meaning of this? This statement declares the main function. A C program contains many functions but must always have one main function. A function is a self-contained model of code that can accomplish some task. Okay, functions are examined later. Then the void specifies the return type of main. In this case, nothing is returned to the operating system. Then line 3 is simply open the brace. This opening brackets denotes the start of the program. Then line 4, the most important, the word printf, and within brackets and within the quotation, we have mentioned hello world from above and backward slash n. This printf is a function from a standard C library that is used to print strings to the standard output, normally your string. Then the compiler links the code from these standard libraries to the code you have written to produce the final executable. Then the backward slash n is a special format modifier that tells the printf to put a line feed at the end of the line. And finally, if there were another printf in this program, existing would print on the next line. So that's why we are using these backward slash n. We call it as a modifier. The last one, line 5, This closing bracket denotes the end of the